Well, hello, my friend, and welcome back to another episode of Legacy Farmer, the podcast. This is your host, Jace D. Young, and today's topic of discussion is this: owners versus employees. So when I was graduating from college and got my first job in the bank, I went to be an employee of a bank. And inside of today's podcast, I'm going to talk about the difference between the owner mindset versus the employee mindset and how you can build a culture inside of your team or your family or your company to where everybody feels like owners. And I'm going to talk about the difference in results between owners versus employees. Okay, now, as an employee inside of the two banks that I worked at for 5 to 6 years, actually 3 banks because I worked at a bank in college as well. The environment there was, at all of them, was not very good. Okay, and I want to remind you that these businesses operated under standard management procedures that a majority of businesses operate with today, right? Let's say you go to college and you have a business management degree. These banks operated under that type of training, right? Now, the problem is that inside of those environments, we were all employees, okay? Everybody made a base salary. At the end of the year, you were given a small bonus and you might get a pay raise, okay? And the pay raise was typically something that was completely laughable, like 2.5%. Completely laughable, okay? Now, the problem with this, though, is that it creates a really negative culture inside of those buildings, right? It doesn't create this culture where everybody's shooting towards the same target. It doesn't create this culture where everybody wants to grow and move forward. The banks that I worked at, none of them had mission statements. None of them had core values, right? So I wouldn't even argue that they were real companies. They were there to earn a return on investment. But did they ever focus on building a culture where people were progressive and active and happy and proud to be there and it tied to the mission and wanted to do good? And did they incentivize them correctly? No, absolutely not. They trained every one of us to think like employees, which when you train somebody to think like an employee, that means do what I tell you to do not ask questions, do your job. You're expected to be here from 8 to 5 or whatever. I don't want to hear any complaining. I don't want to hear any concerns. I do not want your opinion on anything that we're doing in the business. You are an employee. That is all. Now, think about how the employee feels being told that. Okay, and they may not be directly told that, but they're told that in roundabout ways. And you know exactly what I'm talking about there. There's things that are said. There's, side things that are, added in conversations or whatever, where they're saying it without saying it. Okay, that's the way I'll say it. Now, the problem is, though, is that when you do this, your employees know, guys. Like, if you're creating this type of culture and you're treating your people this way, but when I say your people, when I'm talking about family farm operations, it doesn't have to be somebody that's not family. You could be the owner of the operation. You could be treating your son or daughter this way that's working in the operation with you. Okay, and if you treat them like an employee, they will forever be an employee. And guess what? Employees can't take over and grow successfully? Farm operations. They can't turn into second generation, third generation farm operations if you train them to be an employee. Now, for a lot of people, though, and a lot of the members that we're working with inside of Legacy Farmer, and then also what I've tried to do inside of Legacy Farmer itself with our team, is we are training everybody to be owners, and we are incentivizing them as owners as well. So like my entire team inside of Legacy Farmer, we are a small, tight-knit team that is super efficient. We focus a lot on systems and processes and getting our work done and serving our clients at a high level. And that's where a lot of the focus is, because when you look around the industry today, and this is into any industry across the board, completely inefficient in their processes, and the client experience and the customer service is completely dog shit. Like, I'm just going to say what it is. If I have to reach out for help by sending an email to support, or if I have to reach out to my banker and I have to email them and I hope to get a response in 24 hours, maybe in a week, or your accountant or whatever, that is crap, guys. And as business owners, I need answers quickly. Like, if I have a financial question for my banker or for my accountant or whatever it is, I need those answers back within like a couple hours because I'm making a financial decision today and I need to know. But the thing is that a lot of people and a lot of business owners still do not really care about customer service, I guess, at the level that I do and our team does. But anyways, with our team, though, every person on my team is paid base salary plus profit share. Now, they get a profit share of the profits of the company. Now, thinking back, if I would have earned a percentage of the profit share at the banks I was working at, do you think I would have been incentivized differently? Absolutely. Absolutely. To incentivize me versus like, hey, Jace, go out and we need you to get $2, $3, $4, $5 million in new loans, make the bank another $300,000 to $500,000, and we're going to give you a 2.5% raise at the end of the year. There was one year I went out and got the bank or a customer for the bank. It produced $300,000 in interest, and my bonus that year was $2,500. Like, come on, guys. Like, right then and there, I knew that I wasn't going to be there long term. There's a lot of things inside of banking that I absolutely do not agree with, and I was out of integrity being in there because of the crap that was going on in that place and things that were not being told to our customers, which is exactly why, I started Legacy Farmer and left the banking industry. But just like the incentives, guys, think about those incentives. Now, you have that type of negative incentive culture around all the employees inside of that bank. And then also, too, when I talk about how you're training your employees to think, do you think anybody in that bank really worked on solving problems? No, the only person that was incentivized in that bank was the president of the bank. And the president of the bank was always an asshole because they were always stressed out because they were incentivized and they're trying to figure out how to get their employees to act like owners or to think through and help them solve problems while still paying them like an employee. It does not work that way, guys. It absolutely does not work that way. You are not going to get somebody to work like a business owner, but then expect to pay them as an employee. You will lose them. And this is happening on farm operations. This is happening in every business across this country. And so what I do in Legacy Farmer and also what we are sharing with our members, 300 plus family farms around the country, is how to incentivize and get everybody on your team and in your family thinking as business owners. We want them all to have skin in the game. Now, the profit share model that I've implemented has worked out and proven to do that very well. Now, the profit share is great because I don't have to give up ownership equity. Right. But it's also best for the team as well, because then they get monthly profit share. Right. And that's how I do things in my business with some of our customers. They may do it on a semi-annual basis or an annual basis at the end of the year. Right. The farm operations are a little bit different than ours on our end. So like what I do there is I pay out profit share. And now what's great about this is it builds this camaraderie. Okay. Because we have a team of myself and then 4 other people. Now, when they're all earning profit share and the amount of profit share they get is determined by the amount of value and everything that everybody else on the team does, think about how much camaraderie they have there now. Because if I have one individual on my team that's struggling, has a problem, can't figure it out, guess who else is willing to step in and help them as much as possible? Everybody else on my team. Okay, and everybody else on our team is tied and they agree with our mission statement. They're here because of our core values. They're here because of how we're trying to serve the industry, because I spent time doing that boring work that nobody wants to do to make sure I build a culture where people want to help, improve, advance, and just accelerate and be expanding in every area of their life. And they really want to help each other accomplish their goals. This is great as a business owner, because guess what I can do? I can trust my team. I can trust that every decision they make is not careless. They're thinking through it. They're thinking about not only the consequences to, our systems, our processes, our team. They're thinking about, hey, how will this impact customers? How will this impact our finances for the company? Everything. Okay, now, again, when I worked on farm operations in high school after our family feed yard went under, you think I thought about taking care of the, $200,000 tractor I was driving? No, I had no idea. I was young, but 2, there's 30 and 40-year-olds that are working on farm operations that could care less about the equipment that they're handling. Now, as a business owner, you absolutely care. But are you incentivizing them? Are you training them and educating them enough and giving them the incentives to where when they step in that piece of equipment, they treat it like it's their own? Right? We are in this area of and time frame in life where a lot of businesses, you expect somebody to sit in that tractor and you want them to act like a business owner while paying them like an employee. It does not work that way, guys. You have to think about the incentives and you have to think about the culture that you're building inside of your company. And you can probably tell in my voice, I'm fired up about this because, man, the environments that I worked in the 3 different banks that I worked in, man, they were so piss poor. Nobody in there was happy. Everybody was bitching and complaining the entire time. There was office politics going on. It was just a bunch of crap, and it wasn't anything I wanted to be a part of. And that I'm so grateful for that experience, though, too, because it taught me how to not build a culture. It taught me how to not incentivize employees. It taught me how to not train my people to think like business owners and to incentivize them to act like business owners. Everybody on our team inside of Legacy Farmer think like business owners, because I share all the numbers with them. Inside of our weekly L10 meetings, we talk about business problems and challenges. I explain everything going on from the beginning of the business when it comes to like marketing all the way down to the end when it comes to client fulfillment and finances. I share everything, and it's an open book. That way they know and they learn and they grow and they understand. And I'm training them to be business owners. And then I'm incentivizing them with pay, base salary plus profit share, to act as business owners as well inside of the company. Guys, this is such an important concept that is not talked about nearly enough inside of the business environment today, especially inside of the ag industry. Okay, everybody on your team, notice I say your team. They're not your employees. Quit treating them like they're your employees. They don't work for you. They work with you. You need to have a common mission that you guys are all trying to accomplish. And your common mission does not need to just serve your own needs. That's selfish. Your common mission needs to serve your needs plus every single person on your team. And then if you're in a service-based business like I am, it needs to serve every single customer that you have as well. That's what the mission statement is. That's what the core values do for your company. And it allows you to attract the right type of people to your team and also the right customers as well that you can serve. Guys, this is such an important concept, and I hope you take it, and I hope you run with it, and I hope you look at your operation or your business and you start making some drastic changes. You start really thinking through, how can I do this differently? And some people are like, well, Jace, how can I pay profit share? Well, do you know your numbers? Do you know where you're at financially on a month-to-month basis? Because every one of our members inside of Legacy Farmer does. So then if they want to implement a profit share program, it's easy for them to do so because they know exactly where they're at because we've taught them and given them the systems, the tools, the processes, and the mentorship to learn how to track their numbers at a detailed level. So that's step one. If you're like, man, I don't know how to do that, the first step is you got to go to school. Like, you got to go and invest in some type of program. If that's Legacy Farmer, great. Some type of program, you have to become a student of the numbers so that you even know what you can or can't do. It all starts with that, guys. And then from there, you can work your way up and you can start building your culture and everything that you want to. You can start working on your mission statement, your core values. That'll help you attract the right people into your operation. Like, all of those things really all come together to form a company of business owners versus a company of employees. And the results that they get long-term are drastically different. And the culture that you build is just awesome, guys. We have a great culture, not only in our network because we've attracted and brought in the right people that align with the core values and the mission of Legacy Farmer, but our team culture is outstanding as well. And I want to make sure that I'm always focused on that because that's what's going to ultimately push the business forward. It's not me. It's not Jace by himself. It's our customers and our team that is going to push this business forward. And in doing that, I want to hit all of my personal targets for my life and my family, but I want to make sure, and I honestly care even more about hitting my team's targets for their lifestyle and their family, and then ultimately our customers' targets. I want to make sure that there's value for everybody across the board and that everybody's happy being here. Everybody wants to be here. Everybody is proud to be here. So my friends, that concludes today's episode. I hope you take action because of it, and we will catch you on the next one. What's up, everyone? My name is Jace Young. I'm the founder of a company called Legacy Farmer, and inside of that company, what we do is we've helped over 300 family farms simplify and streamline the entire financial side of their operation and help them learn their numbers at a deep level so that they can implement the systems and the processes to make sure that their operation lives on for generations into the future.